by Angola.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Nuria Asish, and today I will speak a little bit about myself before I speak about my beauty with a purpose. I am fluent in English, Portuguese, Spanish, Dutch. I'm an artist, professional artist, and I also am an interpreter. And I also work as a creative director. And growing up, I had a lot of dreams, but I had challenges. I faced a lot of challenges growing up, so I had to grow a little bit faster. Just being the older sister and also have to be the mother to my brother. Because my mother, she had gone to pursue better opportunities for us, so it was a little bit difficult for us to survive. So I had to kind of be in a survival mode. And because of that, in the industry, so in the music industry, sometimes as a young girl, you face a lot of difficulties and people try to exploit your kindness and your, being gullible as well. So it can be a little bit tough. This is the reason why I created Izenu Mutale, which is the project for my Beauty with a Purpose, which is to create an association for girls to help them develop psychologically, professionally, and also personally, because I believe our mental state needs to be in the right way, in the right state. We need to be in the right state of mind to continue to do anything we want. I believe that it's through the power of will. I have a lot of strength in my mind. Before I do anything, before I put myself out in the world, I mentalize myself that I can do anything I want. And these girls, they need somebody to also help them and guide them into something, whatever they want to, because the industry and the world sometimes can be a little bit cold for young girls because sometimes they're vulnerable. This is the reason why I have this project, and I want you to join me into this adventure, which is Izeno Mutale. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Angola. Now we move across Africa to Botswana. And warm welcome for Botswana.
Namaste, hello world. I am honored to represent the heart of Southern Africa, my homeland, Botswana. My name is Anisha Rautusi, and I am proud to be a Botswana. But also, I am a young lady who's driven by the love of representation, not representing the crown, but representing the community, the nation, and the world. From a small village, I was shaped by the love of my grandmother, my mother, and communities. And they've given me the resilience, the humility, and the hope to represent them well. I am inspired by the untold stories of women who came before me, of women who have made stories that have laid the path for me to run through. And this inspires to make my own path with so much authenticity. These untold stories of ordinary people making ordinary, extraordinary steps. And I'm ready to make my extraordinary steps with my authenticity. I'm a young lady who likes to laugh a lot. I think the girls can say that or not. Well, I do believe that this journey is a true journey of greatness. I've learned a lot from you beautiful ladies, and that I've learned that every path I take, I will learn through every path of every person that comes across me. My Beauty with a Purpose project is called Light. And that is because I'm illuminating my light with the world. My country has the privilege of free healthcare, but there is a gap. And that gap is where life comes in. I breach that gap of underserved communities where the clinic is probably way too far for you to reach. And it's that moment for you as a lifetime mission to teach children, communities, and also served communities. Because even in those served communities, there are people that do not know first aid. And that is an opportunity for one to save someone's life. That mini 5 seconds, you're able to sustain and save a life. And my aim is to make sure we live a life of lifesavers in every community, in every school, and in every nation. Closing up, being here is not a celebration of beauty. It is a declaration of purpose. It is a commitment to service, a moment of unity for global change for each and every lady that's standing here and wishing to change the world. My name is Anisha Rautisi, and I am Miss World Botswana. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Botswana. Certainly, it's funny introducing you all because certainly the noisiest group at the sports final. And one of the noisiest of them all is up next. Please welcome Cameroon.
Thank you. From Douala, Cameroon to the world. They used to say that every purpose begins with a story. Mine began in a class of from 5 when I was 12 years old and I lost my best friend, who was named Claudie. She had breast cancer. Back then, none of us really knew what breast cancer was. She was mocked, left alone, and even the adults do not know what it really means. She suffered in silence, and I suffered with her. Namaste India. Hello world. Bonjour à tous. My name is Issue Princess. I am 25 years old. I am a French-speaking girl, but I did part of my education in English, and today I'm a holder of a bachelor's degree in management. And I'm proud to represent my beautiful country, Cameroon, for the 72nd edition of Miss World. I come from a very big family where each and every day my mom taught me so many values such as dignity, love, courage, and above all, gratitude. These values help me to drive to my beauty with a purpose. Since 5 years now, I founded the Cameroon Women Action, which is an association that helps young women affected by breast cancer psychologically, mentally, financially, and even physically. We reach thousands and millions of women around Cameroon through free screening campaigns, education in school, awareness campaigns, because we have to go back then where everything started. But also the scholarship of thousands of children, of women affected by breast cancer, because no woman should ever have the chance to choose within her life and her children's future. In my daily life, I'm a marketing director in an enterprise, a world full of strategies and innovation. But I often ask myself, how can I give back to the society above my title? What life has generously given to me. That is when I founded PI Academy, a school, yes, but above all, a place where young people come together to respect themselves, to learn more about themselves, and to reinvent themselves. Today, early before I came for the Miss World organization, I organized a charity gala. And we had thousands of people who came together just for one cause, to help these women affected by breast cancer. It was amazing to see the love and the support that these women receive each and every day. Another story is through the association website. We have thousands of women that are registered there so we can help them in the daily life. We have the story of a young girl of 16 years old who was full of joy, determination, courage, but she had breast cancer. And when I heard that she passed away, I felt so empty. I was sad and I wanted to give up because she was my new reason why I was continuing this battle. And then I told myself that I don't have to stop there. She should be the new reason why I have to continue. Because yesterday it was her, and tomorrow it can be someone else. Today, my journey is one amongst many others, but I stand here because the grace of God follows me each and every day of my life. And He's the one who helped me to be here today, to share my beauty with a purpose with you and the whole world. And I'm very proud to be here and grateful to the organizing committee of Miss World to giving us this beautiful opportunity. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Cameroon. Please welcome Côte d'Ivoire.
Namaste India, hello world, bonsoir à tous. Ici Fatoumata Koulibaly, Miss World Côte d'Ivoire. Et aujourd'hui, c'est un immense honneur pour moi de vous parler de ma personnalité et de mon beauty with purpose.
It is a huge honor for me to be here today to talk about my personality and my beauty with a purpose.
Alors, qui est Fatoumata Koulibaly?
So who is Fatoumata Koulibaly?
Je suis une jeune femme de 21 ans,
I am a
engagée,
young woman, 21 years old,
engagée,
engaged,
passionnée,
passionate,
qui croit que lorsqu'on a un rêve, lorsqu'on y croit, lorsqu'on a la volonté et le courage qui vont avec, eh bien, on peut se surpasser et surpasser toutes nos limites.
who strongly believes that when you are passionate and engaged, you can do your dreams and everything that goes with it.
Sans plus tarder, permettez-moi de vous parler de mon beauty with purpose.
Now let me talk to you about my beauty with a purpose.
Mon beauty with purpose porte sur l'autonomisation de la jeune femme issue de milieux défavorisés.
My beauty with a purpose talks about how to get autonomous about women in my country.
Pourquoi ce projet?
Why that project?
Laissez-moi vous raconter l'histoire de cette brave jeune femme qui n'avait demandé que 3 choses durant toute son existence.
Let me tell you that story of this brave woman who only wanted 3 things in her life:
Être aimée,
wanting to be loved,
être acceptée
be accepted,
et être protégée.
and protected.
Alors c'est l'histoire de Sita qui dès sa naissance est orpheline de mère.
So this story is about Sita, who was orphan as soon as she was born.
Elle se retrouve avec sa belle-mère jusqu'à l'âge de 8 ans
She was with her stepmother until 8 years old,
et se voit abandonnée par son père
and then abandoned by her father
et confiée par une famille voisine
and caregiven by a neighbor household
sous prétexte qu'elle a un mauvais comportement.
under the reason she was a bad behavior.
Là-bas, Sita n'a pas la chance d'avoir accès à une éducation ni d'aller à l'école.
She didn't have a chance to have an education or go to school.
Elle aide sa tante avec les tâches ménagères
She helps her aunt with daily tasks
et s'occupe des enfants de ces derniers.
Say that again, sorry.
Et s'occupe des enfants de ces derniers.
And takes care of the last children of the family.
À l'âge de 16 ans,
At 16 years old,
la jeune femme se voit arracher
she was taken away
la plus grande valeur qu'une femme puisse avoir,
her biggest value a woman can have,
qui est son innocence,
which is her innocence,
par son propre oncle,
by her own uncle,
celui en qui elle voyait un guide,
the one she could see into, a guide,
un repère
a guide
et un pilier.
and a pillar.
Frustrée,
Frustrated,
déshonorée,
dishonorated,
humiliée,
humiliated,
Sita
Sita
se voit en train d'en parler à sa famille,
talks about it to her family,
mais personne n'ose en parler.
but no one can talk about it.
Pour des raisons familiales,
For familial reasons
pour des raisons religieuses
and religious
et
reasons
pour des raisons sociales.
and social reasons.
Jusqu'au jour où Sita tombe enceinte.
Until the day she falls pregnant.
Et c'est exactement à ce moment-là que
And it's at that moment
sa tante se rend compte que c'est un déshonneur
her aunt realizes it's
et
a
décide
dishonor
enfin de réagir.
and finally decides to react,
Non pas pour l'aider,
not just to help,
mais pour la chasser du domicile familial.
but to kick her out the house.
Sita erre dans les rues toute seule,
She's on her own in the street,
sans aide,
without no help,
enceinte, sans soutien,
pregnant and with no support,
jusqu'au jour
until the day
où elle tombe sur une marchande ambulante
she sees a woman
qui est dans le même quartier que moi,
in Fatumata's region
qui la recueille
and who welcomes her
et qui l'aide avec sa grossesse.
and helps her with her pregnancy.
Et c'est là que moi, je fais la connaissance de Sita.
And this is how I met Sita.
Le feeling passe très bien entre nous,
We really like each other,
au point où elle me raconte son histoire.
and she tells me about her story.
Et ce jour,
And that day,
j'ai compris que dans la vie,
I understood that in life,
peu importe les situations auxquelles nous faisons face,
whatever the situation we face,
peu importe les raisons, les réalités dans lesquelles nous sommes confrontés,
whatever the realities we have,
nous ne devons jamais abandonner.
we should never give up.
Parce que quelque part,
Because somewhere,
il y a quelqu'un qui vit pire que nous,
someone lives even worse,
mais pourtant qui garde toujours la foi.
and they're still keeping hope.
Malheureusement, après quelques mois,
Time.
Unfortunately, after a few months,
Sita perd la vie
she lost
lors
her
de son
life
accouchement.
when she gave birth.
Aujourd'hui, Sita n'est plus là
She's not there anymore,
et je veux porter sa voix,
but I want to carry her voice.
porter la voix de toutes celles qu'on n'entend pas, qu'on ne voit pas, mais qui souffrent dans le silence.
Carry all the voices of the ones who are unheard and suffer in silence.
Je veux pouvoir les accompagner, les motiver, les inspirer à croire en elles,
I
en
want
leurs
to-
rêves
I want to accompany them and
et
support
surtout
them
à s'imposer dans un milieu professionnel.
and impose themselves in professional work.
Comme on le dit si bien, empower a woman and you empower a generation. Thank you.
Thank you, Cameroon. Thank you very much. Côte d'Ivoire, sorry. We now have Equatorial Guinea.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Estela del Carmen Gemamangue. I'm a 20-year-old student, and I'm truly honored, and it's a pleasure to represent my beautiful country, Equatorial Guinea, here before the world. So I would like to thank you for giving me this amazing opportunity. Today, I want to share my project, a project that it impacts everyone around the world, a project about children, about education, and about purpose. Because I believe that education is the most powerful gift that you could give a child. And them discovering their vocation gives that education a true meaning, a true significance. In many parts around the world, children, including my country, go to school every day and they attend to these classes without even knowing why they are even there or without a clear direction. So I want to give them that direction. They memorize facts, they do pass the exams, and they follow the rules. But no one stops and asks them, what do you love? What is your dream? What do you want to become? and children getting educated without any purpose, we take risks on raising generation that they are informed but uninspired. This is why this project was born, to connect education with identity and learning with passion. My initiative has one mission: to help children not only stay in school, but also know why they are there and where the school can lead them. It's built into two main pillars. Inspiration: we visit different schools and we open safe spaces where professionals such as doctors, lawyers, artists, athletes go there to give the real life experiences and the trajectory, so the children can get inspired and know that their dreams are valuable and they're important. Exploration: through workshops, we create different areas where children can experience, such as art, such as science, or media. Because when a child discovers their passion, they begin to study not only because of obligation, but because of purpose, and that is the most beautiful thing. My vision is to expand this project into rural areas where resources are limited, because I believe that every child around the world deserves to get educated. Every child is valuable. So I would like to end saying that your vocation is a gift to the world. So please share it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And our next contestant is from Ethiopia.
Good afternoon, world. Good afternoon, esteemed judges and my fellow delegates. My name is Hasset Daraja, and I am representing my beautiful country, Ethiopia. We have heard different stories about Ethiopia, and the media chose to show our burdens, the scarcity, and different things about Ethiopia. But there is so much for Ethiopia than what the media had displayed. Ethiopia is the only uncolonized country in Africa. Ethiopia is the cradle of humankind. Ethiopia is the birthplace of the coffee that you drink every day. Ethiopia planted 25 billion trees last year to sustain our environment. With the help of our Nobel Prize winner, President Dr. Abiy Ahmed, we've been making different changes that the world do not know about. As I stand here before you, by profession, I'm a chemical engineering student who loves science and creating solutions. But beside that, by purpose, I am champion for the kids that I advocate for, who are children with hydrocephalus and spinal bifida, and also their mothers. In Ethiopia, 44,000 children are born with hydrocephalus and spinal bifida each year. And the mothers, mostly when the fathers get to know about the sickness, leave them. So the mothers get to fend different things in the streets, and that always breaks my heart. I am the first daughter, the eldest daughter, which is the second mother in the house. So I have deep care and empathy for children. I believe every child deserves equal chance. And I want to teach the mothers how to do different handcrafts for them to sustain themselves and be financially independent. That's why I co-work with different organizations such as Maya Charitable Organization, which supply different medical emergency kits, supply different physiotherapy experiments for the kids in Ethiopia. And beside that, I also work with Maya charitable organization and Mest a charitable organization that help the mothers create their own handcrafts to be financially independent. As I stand here, I not only stand as Hasid, I not only stand as Ethiopia, but the mothers and children that are behind me. I stand here unashamed of my roots. I carry stories not just as queen, but as an older sister, as a woman who have burdens of those children on me, and as a stubborn believer in change. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ethiopia. And of course, a demonstration of why you don't put your badge in the washing machine. And now our next contestant had no fufu for lunch, but hopefully some wise words from our Ghana.
Hello, lovely people of the world. Namaste, India. My name is Juta Amapokuya Ado, and I come from the land of gold, rhythm, and resilience, Ghana. I am a free-spirited person who loves education. I believe that education is power. And that is why I'm a dual student pursuing law and business at the same time. When I'm not reading my books, I'm on the golf course. And when I'm not on the golf course, I'm in my art studio doing some painting. And that is my unique life. Today, I would like to share my beauty with a purpose, the story behind my beauty with a purpose, and the reason why I chose that purpose. When I think about beauty with a purpose, I don't think about crowns or gowns, but I think about a girl I knew in school. She had a disability, and I saw how she was being treated. She was really close to me, and I loved her dearly, and the painful memory that I always keep in my mind is how bad she was treated. She was being mocked and left to feel like she did not fit into the society. I saw her cry, and I told myself I needed to do something about this. Years passed by, and I met a sweet, lovely girl called Joyce. She was just 5 years old, diagnosed with scoliosis. She wasn't going to school, not because she did not want to, but because she physically couldn't. And then once again, I saw a society that forgets to support and to care. And so I decided to care, to act, and to support. Because I believe in children. I believe that children are the future. No child should be left in silence. No child should be made to feel invisible. I believe in equal opportunities for children. And that is why my beauty with a purpose is not just a project. It's a purpose. It's personal. And I know that with the help of my country and everybody that is on board, we could save the children, because children are our future. And we have to make sure that everything that they do would work. I stand before you now, once as a child, and I know how it feels to be laughed at. I grew up being very, very skinny, and I was always laughed at by my peers. I couldn't go for lunch, couldn't go for activities because I was just scared to come out. And every time we were changing, I was so shy because I felt like everybody was going to see my bones. But I had a vision and I had a dream, and that didn't stop me. And so my voice today is the voice of children. And that is my beauty with a purpose. It's an impact. And I know that by doing this, I'm not only going to save my society, but also achieve the Sustainable Development Goals, Goals 4 and 10. That is reduce inequalities and quality education. Thank you very much, Medasi.
Thank you very much, Ghana. Thank you. Next, we introduce Guinea. There he is. A big round of applause for Guinea as she comes. There we are.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Savane Kadiato, Miss World Guinea 2025. I am 25 years old and I am from the land where the rhythm of Gembe made the unshakable hope of its people. Growing up in lively streets of Conakry and Mamou, I learned two lessons. First, kindness is a universal language in the world. And second, when the girls are given the knowledge, entire community raise. Haven't you noticed that, ladies and gentlemen? My Beauty with Purpose project is called Voice of the Invisible. Because as a traveler, I've met so many bright girls in rural area who wanted to do education, but unfortunately, they can't. And they don't have voice to do education. That's why Voice of the Invisible installed solar-powered digital arts that provides first offline e-library in French and local language because I am from French-speaking country. Second, coding and entrepreneurship workshop. And third, safe spaces where girls discuss about health, leadership, and self-confidence. The loudest proof in my project is Fatima, one of my students. She has 15 years old, and she's the first who scripts her own mobile app to help farm to thrive because knowledge made her visible. With your support, I will scale Voice of the Invisible across the world. Together, I know we can do it. Ladies and gentlemen, I stand before you today as not a contestant, but as a bridge with words, finance, and fashion, tradition, and technology. And I invite you to see beyond the sash and the crow. And join me in lighting a path where every girl, no matter how hidden his village, can step into the spotlight or opportunities. Because I do believe that when the world rests in the hands of a well-prepared and well-educated woman, it can be carried forward with utmost care. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Guinea. And now we come to Kenya.
Hello world, my name is Grace Ramtu. I am a professional model and a fashion designer with a diploma in fashion and design, and I channel my creativity in creating unique pieces and patterns. Some of them you have seen me wearing during the competition, and more is yet to come. While growing up under the care of a single parent, my mom, it has really shaped my resilience and drive. And qualities that really drive me are my passion, determination, and creativity. And as an ambassador of Kenya to the world, I welcome each and every one of you to experience the beauty of Kenya and Africa as a whole. Well, I am sure that my fellow ladies here will agree with me that a young girl's home is meant to be a place where there's a lot of joy and laughter. But for some young girls, it becomes a place where trust is shattered by the very hands meant to nurture and protect them. The innocence of a young girl stained by the betrayal of a father, a brother, a cousin, an uncle, and sometimes even our neighbors. And they experience shame, confusion, violence, and inability to speak out. And honestly, it really breaks my heart to see that cases like this continue to happen in our society. Imagine a 3-year-old girl going through sexual abuse. And that is why, ladies and gentlemen, I have joined up with a heroic organization reaching out to young girls that have experienced the traumas of sexual abuse. And our support extends beyond rescue. As a fashion designer and a model, I empower these young survivors by teaching them survival life skills like sewing and crochet. And we also actively fundraise to ensure that we get to provide them with their necessities like food, clothing, and education. We also collaborate with psychologists to ensure their mental well-being. And this project is a testament to their courage. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Kenya. Now, please give a warm welcome to Madagascar.
Hello, world. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Let me introduce myself. My name is Sira Temangumbe. I'm 23 years old, proudly to represent my beautiful country, Madagascar, here today. I'm here just not as a contestant, but I'm here as a young girl who believe the power of the beauty of a purpose. I inspired by the woman who rises after the many fears, because that's me. When I was crowned Miss Madagascar, some people hate me. I was hated, I was judged, but I'm standing here today proud as a leader, and they hate me because I'm not enough for them, and I'm not enough to join Miss World. So I did it, and we did it, girls. And I'm so proud of me. I'm so proud of the Miss World to protect me, to receive me here today. So my beautiful purpose is children with albinism protection. What is albinism? Albinism is a condition where person's skin, hair, eyes are very light because they lack melanin. So this condition makes them very sensitive in the sun. In Madagascar, some people with albinism face many challenges in their life, like society, health, economic. But the most challenge in their life is not their health, but it's how society treats them in Madagascar. And that's why I'm here. Sometimes people with albinism face discrimination and murder in Madagascar, but children with albinism are the most vulnerable to kidnappings and sacrifices. You know, it's not fair. It's just inhuman, and I'm here to use my voice as a spokesperson and bring this aspect as a Miss Madagascar, because it's not fair as a human. They are human like me and like you. When I was a little girl, I I felt safe with my family and loved, but these children, they don't have these strengths. Because in Madagascar, we have just one center who receive these children because their parents bring them in this center. So I was with them and I felt this insecurity. And I told myself, they are so, when they met me, they are so happy because finally one person bring our voice in the world. And that's why I'm here today. And I'm a big sister. I have two brothers and I have two little sisters. So sometimes I told myself if they are in the same situation, and imagine you have your baby and someone else bring your baby to sacrifice because of the superstitions, because they believe bad. So I'm here today and my message today is, let's protect every child in the world, no matter their skin, no matter their skin color, no matter their condition, because they are children, they are so innocent. So I'm here, Syria, Miss Madagascar. I'm their voice, I'm their strength, and I'm their hope. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Madagascar. Now, to the island of Mauritius.
Good afternoon, everyone, and hello, world. Thank you for the privilege to be able to stand before you today. My name is Wenarili Sharamna. I am a 22-year-old biomedical engineer graduate, a model, and I'm proudly representing my beautiful paradise island of Mauritius. But beyond these titles, I am a daughter, I am a sister, and someone who believes deeply in power of compassion to create lasting change. Ever since I was a little girl, I've carried 3 big dreams in my heart. And I'm so ever grateful to my parents, my family, and the favor of God upon my life to help me fulfill these dreams. First, I dreamed of becoming a model, to challenge beauty standards that once told me that girls who looked like me were not enough. Then I dreamed of standing on the Miss World stage, representing my country. And today I carry another dream with me, to become a doctor, so I can heal and serve communities with passion. But as I pursued my dreams, I began to understand something deeply, that I wasn't the only one dreaming. In every corner of Mauritius, there are children with dreams just as bold as mine. Whether it's a child with special needs, a child who doesn't have their family by their side, or a child who lacks the tools or opportunities to succeed, they all have one thing in common. They dare to dream. But far too often, those dreams are held back, not by the child's ability, but by society's limitations. That's what inspired my Beauty with a Purpose project, Bridges of Ability. Growing up around my family's business, which supports young adults with mental health issues and learning disabilities, I witnessed their world. One where potential shines brightly, but often goes unnoticed. I saw young people with incredible talent and spirit, yet isolated because they learn or communicate differently. Bridges of Ability is my response to that injustice. It's about creating real, lasting connections between these young individuals and a wider community so that their dreams aren't just imagined but achieved. As part of this journey, I hosted an Easter gathering at a special educational needs school in Mauritius. We filled the day with creativity, laughter, and even a small little dance break, a moment of unfiltered joy where every child could just shine just as they are. But this mission goes far beyond one event. In Mauritius, I've worked closely with children who face difficult realities, whether they live in orphanages, have additional needs, or struggle with access to education. Beyond borders, I've created and distributed back-to-school kits for children in Zanzibar to ensure that they start the academic year with confidence and dignity. Because sometimes something as simple as a new backpack or a new set of pencils can reignite a child's belief and realize their own potential. Bridges of Ability is more than just a project. It's a promise that every child, no matter their background or ability, deserves to dream, and more importantly, deserves a chance to fulfill that dream. To me, beauty isn't perfection, it's purpose. It's using our voice and our platform. I believe beauty means little without kindness, and purpose means everything when it means to uplift others. And if I can use mine to help just one child believe that my dreams matter too, then I know that I've done something meaningful. Let's build a world where no dream is too small, no voice is too soft, and no ability is too different to be celebrated. Thank you.
Thank you, Mauritius. Let a few people come in before we announce our next. Do you want to come in? No? There we are. Okay, so let's now welcome to the stage Namibia.
Good afternoon, world. My name is Salma Kamanya, and I am representing Namibia, or as we affectionately like to call it, the breadbasket of Africa. I'm so incredibly grateful to be standing on the stage here today. Thank you for according me this wonderful opportunity. I like to characterize myself as a woman of compassion and a passion to make a sustainable change in the different communities that I serve, and dare I say, the world. I consider myself to be a student of life and have an affinity for learning. And with this love for learning, I have acquired a bachelor's degree in economics, a certificate in big data technology, a real estate license. I'm on my second year of theology school, and I aspire to be going back to law school next year. Thank you very much. My reality is not the reality of people around me. I come from a household in which my father never had the opportunity to go to school. He therefore greatly encouraged it in our household, and I consider myself to be my ancestors' wildest dreams because I had the opportunity to graduate and have the exposure of standing on stages like this today. I believe that there's no greater honor than that of being a public servant. One of my favorite quotes in life is, "The meaning of life is to find your purpose, and the purpose of life is to give it away." I aspire to assist other people to find their purposes in life, and I aspire to empower them to actualize it. I started my own foundation in 2018 called the InnoNation Foundation. It operates under the pillars mental health, women economic enablement, and youth empowerment through arts advocacy and technological development. In 2021, my focus shifted. When COVID-19 hit, it had devastating impacts globally, and Namibia was no exception. At this point in time, I was working at different orphanages and community centers and volunteering at weekly soup kitchens. When COVID-19 hit, the people that struggled the most were these orphanages and community centers. At that point in time, I had listened, I had learned, I had engaged. And there's one particular center that I used to volunteer at regularly. It's called the Hopeful Children's Center, headed by a woman with a heart for service, Bianca Mohatu. She facilitated and hosted about 200 to 300 children on a weekly basis and fed them at the soup kitchen. At this point in time, I had engaged and I had learned. And I had come to realize that that one meal a day was the only meal that a few children in that community would have access to for the entire day. I went home and I had conversations with different people about how we can make a better, more sustainable, more impactful change in these centers. This is where Inno Grows was birthed. We install backyard gardens, or as we like to call it, urban farming units in different orphanages and community centers to provide children with sustenance and the educational tools that they need in order to grow their own food. Agricultural education is a big labor of love for me because I've seen it transforming communities. And at my core, that's what I aspire to do. I believe that true beauty doesn't shine in the spotlight. Don't get me wrong, there's beauty in illumination, but I believe that true beauty shines in service. Like I mentioned before, there's no greater honor for me than that of being a public servant. And I aspire to live my life by the mandate of true beauty with a purpose must be driven with purpose in order to be impactful. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Namibia. Now this is it, my athlete from earlier today, the fastest to lunch. There she is. A warm welcome and congratulations to our gold medalist for lunch today, Nigeria.
Good afternoon, family. All protocols duly observed. I am Joy Mojisala Raimi, and I'm privileged to be Miss World Nigeria 2025. I am representing the heartbeat of Africa, Nigeria, and I'm 24 years old. And my love for performance led me into studying theater and films with a major in acting from the prestigious University of Port Harcourt City, Rivers State, Nigeria. Ya atiomo, ebashek po mi motikolefo, ihe omimi nne na nwa enweghị nkewa. That translates to the sacred and unbreakable bond between a mother and a child from two major languages in Nigeria, the Yoruba and the Igbo language. The unbreakable bond between a mother and her child, I dare say, is the most powerful synergy you can find anywhere in the world. Agatha Christie rightly said, a mother's love for her child is like nothing else in this world. It knows no law, no pity. It dares all things and crushes down remorselessly anything that stands in its path. At just 2 years old, the bond I shared with my mother was severed as she passed on due to the challenges of accessing quality healthcare. And as I grew up, I understood what it means to grow and thrive without the love and support of a mother. But the most painful part is knowing fully well that she would have still been here if only we had access to quality healthcare. I also experienced how difficult it is for the motherless, I mean the underprivileged children, to gain access to quality education and how this often reshapes their lives. In most cases, it delays and obstructs destinies. And I want to make a difference and to be part of the solution. As a matter of fact, I am making a difference. It is consequent upon my life experiences that I introduce to each and every one of you in this room today my life's mission, the Omoluabi Renaissance Initiative. It is housed by my first love, the Love for Humanity project. The Omoluabi Renaissance Initiative has a clear focus on reviving the future through women and children, leading to a rebirth of strong communities through education and health. A renaissance of values driven by empowered women and educated children. Now, this is a project that precedes me. This is a project that speaks life to me, helping children across Nigeria acquire quality education whilst insisting and helping women gain access to quality maternal health care services. And by the grace of God, I have been able to see beneficiaries all over Nigeria, from 350 beneficiaries from both Igondo, Lagos, Makoko, and Port Harcourt City, River State. And we are resolved to do even more. Now, this is a clarion call, and I implore each and every country seated here today to get on this vehicle with me as we take action to drive change. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Nigeria. Now it's the turn of Senegal.
Hello world. Namaste India. My name is Mamfama Jaigai. I'm a master's student specializing in criminal sciences, and I'm so Miss Senegal 2025. I'm so happy to represent the voice of the voiceless today at Miss World. Thank you. To speak to you about my beauty with purpose, allow me to express myself in French. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, c'est avec le cœur lourd que je me tiens devant vous aujourd'hui.
It is with a heavy heart that I stand before you today
Pour vous parler d'une réalité essentielle, mais très douloureuse.
to speak about a painful but essential reality.
Celle des enfants de la rue et le lien souvent ignoré qu'il entretient avec le phénomène de l'immigration clandestine.
About street children in Senegal who are often ignored and share connection with illegal migration.
Pour entrer dans le vif du sujet, permettez-moi de vous raconter une petite histoire.
Now let me tell you a story.
Étant une jeune fille, j'ai eu la chance d'avoir un toit, d'avoir un lit, d'avoir une famille.
As a young girl, I was fortunate enough to have a roof over my head, a bed, and a family.
D'avoir accès aussi à l'éducation.
And access to education.
Et chaque matin, en allant à l'école,
And every morning when I would go to school,
je rencontrais des enfants qui mendiaient dans la rue.
I would meet children begging in the streets.
Pieds nus, habits déchirés.
Barefoot and wearing torn clothes.
Ces enfants, à mes yeux, n'étaient pas des mendiants, mais c'étaient des amis.
They weren't beggars for me, they were my friends.
Je partageais avec eux des morceaux de pain, des rires, on jouait ensemble et on grandissait trop vite.
I would share pieces of bread, we had good laughs, we played together and grew up too fast.
Le temps passait, j'étais à l'université et je poursuivais mes passions, mes études de droit en sciences criminelles.
I then found myself at university pursuing my passion, studying criminal science.
Et un jour, je me suis réveillée comme ça. J'ai vu sur les médias que beaucoup d'enfants, des milliers d'enfants, ont pris la pirogue pour aller vers l'Europe, à la recherche d'une vie meilleure.
And one day when I woke up, I saw on the news that many of these kids had taken the boat for a better life.
Je me sentais mal. J'avais le cœur meurtri parce que j'ai grandi avec ces enfants et voir ces enfants mourir en mer à la recherche d'une vie meilleure me rendait le cœur meurtri.
I felt so bad knowing that I had grown up with these kids and that they lost their lives on these boats.
Ils voulaient juste fuir la pauvreté, le chômage et l'exclusion sociale, mais hélas.
They only wanted to escape poverty, unemployment and social exclusion, but sadly, they never made it.
Avec ça, j'ai décidé de ne plus croiser les bras et j'ai décidé d'intégrer une association, l'Association sénégalaise d'assistance des enfants de la rue.
I decided I had to do something about it and joined an association to protect street children.
Avec cette association, nous avons lancé une initiative nouvelle.
So we launched a new initiative with this association,
des centres de transformation humaine et professionnelle,
Human and Professional Transformation Centers,
permettant à former ces enfants dans des différents métiers,
allowing these children to learn new works,
comme couture, menuiserie, agriculture, entre autres.
like sewing, carpentry, agriculture, among others.
Favoriser leur insertion professionnelle,
Help with their professional integration,
leur garantir un avenir stable et digne,
and guarantee them a stable future.
rompre le cycle de la pauvreté
Break the cycle of poverty
et lutter contre l'immigration clandestine
and fight against illegal migration,
qui a emporté trop de nos jeunes.
who takes too many young lives.
Enfin, je terminerai à dire merci à Miss World de m'avoir donné l'occasion de parler de cette cause qui me tient énormément à cœur.
Finally, I would like to thank Miss World for giving me the opportunity to speak about them.
Et on l'aurait compris, Miss Monde, ce n'est pas juste une couronne sur la tête, mais c'est une lumière qu'on braque sur des vies qu'on peut encore sauver.
Because as we know, Miss World is not just a crown, it's a spotlight for the voice of the unheard.
Donc, je vous demande à vous, ici présents, à travers ma voix, entendez leurs cris et rejoignez leur combat, notre combat.
So through my voice, I ask you to hear them and join our fight.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And I forget it. Africa needs its children on the mission, not in exile. Thank you.
Does. Thank you very much. Okay. Now we come to Sierra Leone. Yes.
Few moments ago, before assuming this premise whilst in the bathroom, I stumped my shoulder. I was in severe pain and I fell down. I had to stand up again. I dusted my clothes and I had to raise my head up high. The attendant asked, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Yes, I'm very much fine." I plastered a huge smile on my face. This vividly, practically defines the type of person I am, an individual who does not allow the challenges of the world to get to her. Standing on all existing protocols, I am Lacheve Alberta Kaiserini Davis, representing a land known for its deep-rooted traditions, cultures, and values, but popularly known for our diamonds, and that is Sierra Leone. You see, my country is actually at war. A war has been waged in my country, but not with bullets, neither with bombs, but with something much more quieter and insidious. A war is waged on the issue of hunger. Let's bury all forms of prejudice and agree with me that regardless of your financial stability, one way or the other, you might have gone to bed on an empty stomach. And as someone who has experienced it firsthand, I remember at an age no longer than 9, walking down the dusty roads in my country, trying to go to school, sitting down on my wooden chipped chair and table. I tried to listen, I tried to think. I tried to sit up straight with my back arched back and raise my head up to hear the knowledge being inculcated to me by my teacher. But at that time, my stomach was growling and aching from hunger. And that was when I got to realize that hunger was actually louder than hope. But then I reminisced the word of Mahatma Gandhi whilst growing up. You see, there is so much hunger in the world to an extent God cannot appear to us, but except in the form of bread. And instead of waiting for a change, why don't I be part of change? 6 years ago, an initiative was launched by the government of Sierra Leone, which is a medium-term development plan. And the first project of the president was that of the Feed Salon project. That inspired my project, which is the Feeding Dreams and Rebranding Farming project. It's quite a simple idea, but to focus on sustainability. Instead of making farming a career or a desperate labor job for people who they considered idle, why can't we make it the dignity of our nation? Why can't we make it something sustainable? So, as a result of that, I started collaborating with partners. I've collaborated and still collaborating with that of the World Bank, UNICEF, UNFPA, and also the Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security in my country. But what have we done? We've donated millions and millions and millions of seeds. We've given about 2,700 tractors. We've also ensured that we go to school, organize campaigns, seminars, and workshops. We have to catch them young. And also, we've ensured that we use various channels of communication to disseminate the message of sustainable farming practices, to tell them how important the essence of farming is. And as we speak, as a result of some of these actions that we have taken, I'm proud to tell you that my country's GDP has surged by 10% from $6.41 billion to $7.41 billion as of 2024. I was that young girl who sat in the classroom, my stomach aching and growling from hunger. 60% of my country's population goes to bed with a dream, yet on an empty stomach. We live under $1 per day, which is about 25 millions in our own currency. We have to make a change. For the young girls, we empower them. For the farmers, we give them all what we need to give them. We give them sustainability, educate them. We inspire to aspire, and we aspire to inspire. For the people who are hungry, we ensure that we feed them. Our biggest project as of now, as we speak, is that of innovation. I am proud to tell you that I and a team of reformers and engineers who've made the Dynamo project. The Dynamo project is actually a machine that converts kinetic energy to that of mechanical energy, which generates electricity in my country. And it's not only given to those in the rural areas, even those in the urban areas also have benefited from this. And this has been our biggest achievement. And August 5th, to be quite specific, I'm glad to introduce to you and to tell you and to tell the whole world that my project will be launching an app wherein farmers will have access to this app, ensure that they have access to microfinance loans, seeds, tractors, or whatever thing they need free of cost, because we already have collaborators and partners we are working with. Hectares and hectares of lands have been dished out to these farmers. We need nothing in return. All we want them to do is for them to feed the country. This aligns not only with my country's goal, but also with the Sustainable Development Goal 1 and that of Goal 2, which is to end hunger and zero poverty by 2030. I stand before you not just as a victim, but as a voice for the voiceless, not just confined to that of my nation, but to the whole world, as this is a global phenomenon. Ladies and gentlemen, join me in feeding dreams and rebranding farming, because at the end of the day, we don't only have to think about ourselves, but we have to think about the future. And that is what sustainability is all about. I rest my case. Thank you, and have a blessed day. Namaste.
Thank you. There we are. Keep that applause going as we welcome Somalia.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Zainab Jama, and I am proudly representing my beautiful land, Somalia. I was born and raised in Somalia. I grew up as a refugee, fleeing my country due to climate issues and conflict. As a child, my childhood consisted of my family and I riding on camels, searching for safety and a home, but every place we found was destroyed. And luckily our family got accepted and we found opportunity in the UK. And that's where I pursued my education, and my family and I were able to rebuild our life. Today I would love to share the mission that brought me to Miss World. I'm the founder of the Female Initiative Foundation, a project born from one of the most darkest moments of my life. I stand here today not just as a voice for the voiceless, but as a survivor of female genital mutilation. I speak for the millions of girls whose voices were silenced before they ever had the chance to live freely. I know what it feels like to have your rights taken away, to feel powerless and to be told that your voice doesn't matter. And I know there's a lot of people in the world who don't know what female genital mutilation is. And so I think it's really important that I raise awareness and I educate, and that was my main purpose at Miss World, was to teach people what female genital mutilation is. And I'd love to share with you guys the procedure that's done. I know that it's something that can be very uncomfortable, but I believe that it's something that the world needs to hear and needs to know. And I will explain to you this at first hand. I was 7 years old. I was outside playing with my friends when I was picked up. My clothes were ripped off, and I was taken to a room where 3 women waited with blades, scissors, and all tools. These women were not doctors, nor were they medically trained, just tradition passed down through generations. They cut off my clitoris, the part of my body meant for womanhood. They then sliced away the inner labia and the outer labia. I remember I screamed in pain because during the procedure there's no anesthesia used, no comfort, only blood and loud silence. I remember crying and begging, but the woman told me to be quiet, to be brave, and to be proud, as that was part of our tradition. Once the cutting was done, my skin was stitched back together with thick thread or thorn, leaving only a tiny part of hole, barely enough for urine or blood to pass through. This process is called infibulation and is one of the most severe forms of FGM. After the procedure, I was laid in a dark room with my legs tightly tied together. So after the procedure, I was laid in a dark room with my legs tightly together for days. And I remember I was in a room and I was bleeding every day. I had no toys, I had nothing. I only had charcoal next to me, and I used to draw on the wall next to me, and I'd just draw my dreams away just to keep me alive, because that part after the procedures where a lot of girls die and they don't make it out alive. That moment changed me forever, and my childhood came to an end. I survived, but many of girls didn't, and they don't. I stand here today for the joy that my mother couldn't reap her love. For generations, our mothers, our grandmothers, and the women before them endured this pain in silence. They were taught that suffering is part of being a woman and that this is normal. But it's not normal. It's not okay, and it's not part of our destiny. I know that I cannot change my past, but I can fight for their future. And I know the consequences that come with that. But I get so many messages from little girls from my country telling me that they're going to be getting female genital mutilation done soon. 98% of women in Somalia have undergone female genital mutilation. 98% is a very big number, and that 2% are just the infants that have not reached the age to be cut yet. That's a whole nation of women in my country. And through my foundation, I bring awareness, I go into community and I do public speaking. I teach mothers that that tradition should never come at the cost of a child's body or soul. We can honor our traditions without having to harm our little daughters. I also created a sisterhood of survivors back home in the UK. Most of them my closest friends. We cry together, we heal together, but most importantly, we use our voices. We fight as we believe that our voices can protect the next generation. I want to protect all the young girls from blades that should never touch them. No little girl should go from playing outside to bleeding in a dark room. And the crown that I wear as Miss Somalia doesn't just represent beauty, but to me it represents responsibility, it represents truth. And I wear it for Fortune, I wear it for Deqa. Fortune and Deqa, both full of life and dreams, whose family I interviewed. Both of them bled to death from this same horror. Their hearts stopped beating because somebody thought that tradition was way more important than their lives. Their bodies couldn't survive what mine barely did. And so, no matter what the consequences is, I'll continue to keep fighting until I see change and until I see the world talk about it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Somalia. I think all the ladies are standing for you. There you are, you can see.
Ladies, we just heard something that I think to all of us and to every guy here, every girl, every mother, every grandmother, we have heard a voice which has to be listened to. We've heard a voice that needs to be listened to by grandmothers, by mothers in your country, and we need to hopefully and carefully and kindly explain to those people in your country that it's wrong. There is no right. It's wrong. And what has been believed in the past, like many, many people have different customs, you have to eventually stop and think that custom is wrong. And there is no shaming being wrong. The shame is not to put it right. So we'll all stand together and we will make it something that we explain to women, not make them feel bad because they believe that was the right thing to do. You don't do anything by telling people they were bad. They didn't understand. Now we must make them understand by everybody coming together to save other young girls from the same torture and cruelty which was thought to be the right way. Thank you for your bravery. And I don't know where this is going. I never get involved in politics, but this isn't politics. This is a social denigration, cruelty, and totally unacceptable, unnecessary thing to do to any female, little girl. Little girls don't choose. Now grandma must learn the new way of life. There is no excuse that's because we did it, you have to have it done. So we've got to put that right. We must all do it together, okay? So you can explain this.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Somalia. Just give a bit of time there. Okay. Please welcome South Africa.
Greetings, everyone. My name is Walise Janssen van Rensburg, and I represent South Africa. Whenever I'm asked to introduce myself, I always start with the fact that I'm just an ordinary girl with extraordinary ambitions. I am someone that believes every single minute we have in this world is a gift, and it is a gift that should not be taken for granted. I spend my time to shed light on the 2.8 million orphans in my country, not even to mention the children that are born onto the streets and who have not been documented. I never had a big family. I come from a small family of 3. It was always my mom, my brother, and I. And although we were only 3 people, there was so much love and an abundance amount of kindness we shared with one another. And it was moments like that that reminded me I would always have a safe place to call home. I stand here before you today because I was brought up in an environment where dreams and ambitions were encouraged. And because of that, I can blossom in front of you all today, sharing my passions and my purpose. My mother is the most important person in my life, and I could never imagine what it might feel like to grow up with no parents. 5 years ago, I stepped into my first orphanage, and the feeling of loneliness and abandonment left me with an eerie feeling. These children have to fight for everything they own, from food to a safe place to rest. They don't know what it feels like to have a family. They only know the reality of letting go of any hope of a normal childhood in order to survive. And they don't have the right to just be a kid. And this is a reality I couldn't remain oblivious to. So I decided to reach out to organizations that shared my vision of creating a sense of safety and security for them. So this was the birth of my foundation, called Never Too Young to Advocate. Here we build classrooms, we repair facilities, and we fundraise for scholarships to ensure that the children have a safe space to learn and to grow. So I've partnered with various organizations. Just to name one is the My Desk Global Initiative. And this initiative focuses on distributing recyclable, portable learning desks for children in underserved communities. And to see the inspiration in their eyes when they are gifted one of these desks is something I can't even put into words. It is something so small that can really mean so much to them. And they have taught me the importance of collaboration. And they have taught me the importance of sharing our like-minded thoughts and ideas with one another. Because when we do, we are able to impact so many more communities. I always say these children have an aspiration in their eyes. And to have witnessed that has inspired me in many ways. And it has given me a new sense of purpose. They have inspired me so much, I have decided to write my own children's book called Only a World Away. And this book focuses on teaching more children how to read and write. And it has been such a blessing to see how that sense of self and the power of knowledge can remind them that their dreams are never out of reach. We all long for the same thing, and I think we can all agree on that. And that is a sense of family and a sense of love. Those children are not just a statistic to me. They are people. They're my family. And 5 years ago, I went there not knowing what I would find. Little did I know, I would walk away with the big family that I always dreamed of. I got to know their stories, and they got to know mine. And every time I go, they tug onto my clothes and say, "Hello, Miss Wallis, we've missed you so much." And it brings me such a sense of emotion because we have become a big, large family, and that is a blessing to have. Those children have taught me so much about myself, but more importantly, they have redefined what purpose is. With that being said, I want you to open your hearts to a purpose that spreads far beyond yourself, because that is what they have taught me. And it has made me come to the very important realization that there is always another seat at the table. Never Too Young to Advocate is a promise, and my promise to the world, that we need to continue dreaming like children. Because when we dream without barriers and borders, the impossible really can become possible. Thank you so much.
Thank you, South Africa. From South Africa to South Sudan.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ayomtiro Mathieu, and I'm, hold on. Okay. My name is Ayomtiro Mathieu, and I'm deeply honored to represent South Sudan at the 72nd Miss World in Telangana, India. Miss World has been a big part of my journey throughout my stay here in Telangana, but also my stay in South Sudan. Since our independence in 2011, we've participated in Miss World. Why? Because we believe in using our voices and our talents and our hearts to make a difference. I was born during a time of deep uncertainty, where the future felt fragile and we didn't know where life would take us. I would always ask my mom, Mama, where are we going? And every time she would respond, we're going for an education. Eventually, we found our way to Canada, where I grew up and spent most of my life. And in Canada, I was blessed to have people who believed in me, who empowered me, and who inspired me to chase my dreams. When I returned to South Sudan in 2019, I saw the deep inequalities that my people were facing. I saw classrooms that were overcrowded, children who couldn't see a I saw children who didn't get a chance to chase their dreams, and I saw their light being dimmed before it could even I saw I saw their lights being dimmed before they even had a chance. That's why I created Rise, reaching, inspiring, supporting, and empowering. I wanted to help those who, like my family and I, once struggled, looking for a chance and a brighter future. Through Rise, I aim to empower young people through education and promote healing and foster understanding so that we can build an environment and a future where every single one of us can thrive. Thank you.
Thank you, South Sudan. Thank you very much. And now we move to the T's. And the first of those are Togo.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Namaste. My name is Natalie Yao Amwama. I'm 24 years old, and I'm so proud to represent my country at this 72nd Miss World. I'm studying with a master's degree in chemistry. I grew up in a family of 7 people when I learned yearly the power of hard working, perseverance, and helping others. Now I want to talk about my Beauty with Purpose project. Please allow me to speak in French and speak clearly. Thank you. Chaque jour dans nos rues, nos maisons, des enfants grandissent, mais pourtant certains restent invisibles. Non pas parce qu'ils ne sont pas là, mais parce que la société ne pense pas à eux.
Every day in our streets, some children grow up and aren't very lucky, not because, say that again, the last one, my lovely.
Dans ma communauté,
Recommence, ma chérie.
okay. Chaque jour dans nos rues, nos maisons, des enfants grandissent, mais pourtant certains restent invisibles. Non pas parce qu'ils ne sont pas là, mais parce que la société ne pense pas à eux.
Some children are invisible, even though they grow in our streets, in houses we can see, just because society doesn't think of them.
Dans ma communauté, Plus de 80% des enfants atteints d'infirmité motrice cérébrale. Les enfants qui sont nés avec des handicaps sont toujours délaissés, abandonnés par leur propre famille et même par la société.
These children have been abandoned by society and their families.
C'est tellement douloureux de voir ces enfants abandonnés dans la rue, en train de souffrir pour se battre à vivre, parce qu'aucune famille ne veut de ces enfants.
And it is very painful to see because no one wants these children who fight for their lives and for food.
Imaginez un seul instant être un enfant qui ne peut ni marcher, ni parler, au lieu d'être entouré d'amour, être abandonné et délaissé.
Imagine being a kid who can't walk, can't eat, instead of being in a warm family and being abandoned.
C'est un projet qui me tient vraiment à cœur parce que j'ai vécu une situation allant dans ce sens qui m'a beaucoup touchée.
It's something that I really care about because I lived something similar.
Après mon élection de Miss Togo 2024, j'ai décidé d'être la voix de ces enfants que les gens ne veulent pas écouter, de défendre les causes de ces enfants.
So as soon as I was elected Miss Togo, I decided to be a voice for these children.
Mon objectif premier est de sensibiliser la population à ne plus voir ces enfants comme un fardeau ou comme une malédiction.
So my first aim is to talk about these children so that society doesn't see them as a burden anymore.
Offrir à ces enfants une éducation allant dans ce sens parce qu'ils en méritent mieux.
Offer them an education because they deserve it.
J'aimerais, par ma voix, défendre les causes de ces enfants, attirer l'attention de ma communauté, de la population togolaise à ne plus rejeter ces enfants, à les accepter parce que ces enfants méritent d'être aimés.
I think these children deserve to be loved, deserve to be loved, so I'm trying my best so that in my country they can be accepted.
À travers ça, j'ai créé une association appelée Sauve-moi pour pouvoir venir en aide à ces enfants.
That is why I created an association.
Aujourd'hui, à travers ma voix et à travers votre voix, j'aimerais qu'on porte un soutien à ces enfants et créer un monde dans lequel aucun enfant ne sera abandonné ni délaissé.
So together with my voice and yours, I would like to create a world where no more children is abandoned.
Construire un monde juste, car chaque enfant mérite mieux, chaque enfant mérite d'être aimé, chaque enfant mérite de vivre une vie paisible.
I think all children deserve to be loved, deserve to have a nice life and be surrounded.
Ces enfants ont des rêves, ils ont besoin de nous pour se battre. On dit souvent qu'un enfant, c'est une bénédiction, alors nous devons les accueillir, leur soutenir et leur offrir des soins.
We often say children are a benediction, so we must treat them like that.
Merci du fond du cœur de m'avoir écouté. Merci à Miss World de m'avoir donné cette opportunité de parler de ces enfants, de ce projet qui me tient à cœur.
So thank you for listening and for giving me a stage on Miss World stage to talk about these children.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Togo. There we are. There's two T's. Second one, Tunisia.
Aslema, Namaste India. Hello everyone watching from around the world. My name is Lemi Serdisi and I'm honored to stand here today as Miss World Tunisia 2025. I'm 24 years old. I'm studying master's degree in marketing research after getting my bachelor's in business administration specialized in marketing. I was born and raised in the beautiful island of dreams, Jerba. It's a place known by its tolerance, peace, and culture, and now it's a UNESCO World Heritage Site. I was raised in